There's a quiet trap that catches more people than failure ever does, and it's the constant need for approval. We spend years trying to be accepted, trying to fit in, trying to make sure everyone around us likes us. We change our opinions to avoid conflict. We hide parts of who we are because we're afraid they won't be accepted. We say yes when we want to say no. We keep giving more than we receive because somewhere deep inside, we believe that if we just try a little harder, someone will finally choose us, appreciate us, or validate us. But here's what I've learned. The moment your happiness depends on someone else's approval, you've handed them the steering wheel of your life. Think about how exhausting that is. Every decision becomes a performance. Every conversation becomes a test. Every silence feels like rejection. You begin measuring your value by likes, compliments, promotions, invitations, and the opinions of people who are often just as uncertain about themselves as you are. That's not freedom. That's emotional dependence disguised as ambition. The strongest people I've met aren't the loudest. They're not constantly trying to prove themselves. They don't walk into every room asking, "Do they like me?" They walk in asking, "How can I contribute?" That's a completely different mindset. One seeks acceptance. The other creates value, and value always outlasts validation. Here's something worth remembering. People respect those who respect themselves. Confidence isn't built when everyone applauds you. Confidence is built when you continue doing the right thing, even when nobody notices. It's built when you stop explaining your worth and start living it. You don't have to convince the world that you're valuable. Your consistency, your integrity, and your character will eventually do that for you. When you chase approval, you become reactive. You adjust your life based on someone else's expectations. But when you stop chasing approval, something incredible happens. You become intentional. Your choices come from your values instead of your fears. You stop asking, "What will they think?" and start asking, "Is this who I want to become?" That single shift changes everything. Not everyone will understand your journey, and they don't have to. Not everyone will agree with your decisions, and that's okay. Your purpose isn't to collect everyone's approval. Your purpose is to become someone you can respect when you look in the mirror. Because at the end of the day, the opinion you carry with you every single moment is your own. The irony is that the more desperately you seek validation, the more it slips away. But the moment you stop needing it, people begin to notice something different about you. They notice your calmness. They notice your confidence. They notice that you're no longer trying to impress anyone. And that quiet certainty becomes magnetic because it can't be faked. So stop wasting your energy trying to earn a place in rooms where you have to shrink yourself to fit. Stop begging people to recognize your value. Build a life so meaningful, so grounded, and so authentic that your confidence no longer depends on applause. Because the day you stop chasing approval is the day you finally start leading your own life. The moment you stop asking for permission to be enough is the moment you become unstoppable. Once you stop chasing approval, you discover something even more important. You no longer have to spend your life convincing people of your worth. Too many people waste years trying to explain themselves. They try to prove they're talented enough, smart enough, deserving enough. They argue with people who have already made up their minds. They seek recognition from people who were never interested in giving it. And while they're busy trying to change someone else's opinion, they're neglecting the one thing they actually have control over: themselves. Here's a question that changed the way I think. What if all the energy you spend trying to impress others was invested in improving yourself instead? Imagine where you'd be if every hour spent seeking validation became an hour spent learning a new skill. Imagine if every disappointment became fuel instead of an excuse. Imagine if every rejection became a reminder to grow instead of a reason to quit. That's where real transformation begins. People often believe success comes from being noticed. I don't think that's true. Success comes from becoming valuable. Recognition is simply the byproduct. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they didn't wake up every morning wondering how to look impressive. They woke up asking how to become better. They understood that excellence isn't something you perform. It's something you practice. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards preparation. It rewards people who keep learning long after everyone else has stopped. It rewards those who continue showing up when the excitement has faded and the results are still invisible. That's what separates people who dream from people who build. One group waits to be discovered. The other becomes impossible to ignore. There will always be someone who underestimates you, someone who overlooks your effort, someone who doesn't recognize your value. That's life. But here's the mistake you must never make. Don't let their limited view become your identity. Their opinion is not your ceiling. Your future isn't determined by who believes in you today. It's determined by what you choose to become tomorrow. Instead of spending your time defending your abilities, spend your time developing them. Read more, practice more. Learn from failure instead of hiding from it. Strengthen your body, sharpen your mind, improve your character. Because skills can be learned, knowledge can be gained, but character is built one decision at a time. Every disciplined choice you make is a quiet investment in the person you're becoming. And here's something remarkable. When you're deeply committed to growth, comparison starts to lose its power. You stop looking sideways because you're too focused on moving forward. Someone else's success no longer threatens you because you're busy creating your own. You realize that life isn't a competition against everyone else. It's a commitment to becoming a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. People may not notice your progress immediately. They may not applaud your effort. They may even question why you keep working so hard. Let them. The seed grows underground long before anyone sees the tree. The greatest transformations happen in silence, long before they become visible to the world. So stop trying to convince people that you're capable. Become so disciplined, so skilled, and so grounded that your results speak before you ever have to. Because in the end, you never have to announce your value when you've taken the time to build it. Don't chase recognition. Become the kind of person it naturally follows. As you begin investing in yourself, instead of trying to convince everyone else of your worth, you'll notice something else that becomes incredibly valuable: your time and your energy. Most people think success is about having more hours in the day. It isn't. We all wake up with the same 24 hours. The difference is how we choose to spend them, and more importantly, who we allow to consume them. Think about the people, habits, and distractions that occupy your life. How many of them actually move you closer to the person you want to become? And how many simply leave you emotionally exhausted? There are conversations that inspire you, and there are conversations that drain you. There are relationships that challenge you to grow, and there are relationships that keep pulling you back into the same cycle of doubt, drama, and negativity. The difficult part is that not everything that steals your energy looks harmful in the beginning. Sometimes it comes disguised as loyalty. Sometimes it comes disguised as obligation. Sometimes it comes from people you've known for years. But here's the truth. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's responsible. You cannot build a meaningful life if every day begins by reacting to everyone else's priorities. Every notification doesn't deserve your attention. Every argument doesn't deserve your response. Every criticism doesn't deserve your emotions. One of the greatest forms of maturity is learning that you don't have to attend every battle you're invited to. Some fights cost more than they're worth. Some people are committed to misunderstanding you, and no amount of explaining will change that. The wisest decision isn't always to speak. Sometimes it's to walk away and invest that energy somewhere it can actually produce growth. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Wherever your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention constantly lives in comparison, fear, gossip, or unnecessary conflict, don't be surprised when your life feels heavy. But if your attention is directed toward learning, creating, building, and serving others, everything begins to change. The quality of your life is shaped by the quality of what consistently holds your focus. Successful people aren't successful because they have fewer distractions. They're successful because they've learned how to say no. They understand that every yes carries a hidden cost. Every commitment requires time. Every distraction delays progress. That's why discipline isn't just about working harder. It's about protecting your priorities from things that don't deserve them. There will always be opportunities that seem exciting, but don't align with your purpose. There will always be people who expect immediate access to your time simply because they've known you for a long time. But not everyone deserves unlimited access to your attention. If you don't establish healthy boundaries, someone else will gladly decide how your days are spent. And before long, you'll realize you've been busy without actually making progress. You don't owe everyone your explanation. You don't owe everyone your availability. Sometimes the most powerful decision you can make is choosing peace over proving a point. Growth often requires distance, not because you hate people, but because you value your future. The people who truly care about you won't resent your commitment to becoming better. They'll respect it. And if someone is threatened by your boundaries, they were probably benefiting from your lack of them. Remember, your future isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in the quiet decisions you make every single day about what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Every hour you protect from negativity becomes an hour you can invest in your purpose. Every unnecessary distraction you eliminate creates space for something meaningful to grow. Guard your time and energy, because the life you want depends on where you choose to invest them. Once you've learned to protect your time and your energy, the next challenge is deciding what you'll do with them. This is where most people get stuck. They wait to feel inspired before they take action. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect moment. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel ready. But if you build your life around your feelings, your progress will always be unpredictable. Feelings change. Discipline endures. Think about it. There are mornings when you don't feel like getting out of bed. There are days when the work feels repetitive, when the results are nowhere in sight, and when quitting seems easier than continuing. In those moments, motivation whispers, take a break. Discipline quietly replies, keep going. And over time, it's that quiet voice that changes everything. The people we admire aren't extraordinary because they never struggle. They're extraordinary because they don't let struggle decide their direction. They understand that success isn't built on occasional bursts of effort. It's built on ordinary actions, repeated consistently over a long period of time. They don't rely on excitement to carry them forward. They rely on commitment. Too often, we celebrate dramatic transformations while overlooking the countless small choices that made them possible. We admire the athlete on the podium, but forget the early mornings when no one was watching. We applaud the successful entrepreneur, but ignore the years of uncertainty, rejection, and relentless learning. We notice the finished masterpiece, but overlook the thousands of hours spent refining it. Greatness is rarely created in a single moment. It's created through countless moments that seem insignificant when they happen. That's why discipline is so powerful. It allows you to make progress even when your emotions are working against you. It teaches you that you don't have to feel confident to take the next step. You don't have to feel fearless to begin. You don't have to feel motivated to remain consistent. Action often creates the feelings you're waiting for, not the other way around. There will be seasons when nobody notices your effort. Nobody applauds your consistency. Nobody sees the sacrifices you're making. That's where character is built. It's easy to work hard when people are cheering for you. It's much harder when the room is silent. But the person you're becoming isn't shaped by applause. It's shaped by the promises you keep to yourself when no one else is paying attention. Every day gives you a choice. You can choose comfort or you can choose growth. Comfort feels good in the moment, but growth creates a better future. Comfort tells you to postpone your goals. Growth reminds you why they matter. Comfort focuses on today's inconvenience. Growth focuses on tomorrow's possibilities. The life you want is almost always waiting, just beyond the decision to do what is necessary instead of what is easy. And don't underestimate the power of small wins. Reading 10 pages a day may not seem life-changing. Exercising for 30 minutes may not feel extraordinary. Practicing a skill for 1 hour may not bring immediate results. But consistency has a way of turning small actions into remarkable outcomes. Day after day, those small choices compound. Eventually, people call it talent, luck, or overnight success. They never see the discipline that quietly built it. Remember, your habits are casting votes every single day for the person you're becoming. Every choice either strengthens your future or weakens it. Every action is shaping your identity. You don't become disciplined after achieving success. You become successful because you choose discipline long before success arrives. When discipline becomes stronger than emotion, your future is no longer left to chance. When you become disciplined, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop feeling the need to react to every disappointment, every insult, and every person who underestimated you. You realize that your greatest response isn't found in your words. It's found in the life you choose to build. Too many people spend years trying to prove someone wrong. They replay old conversations in their minds. They imagine the perfect comeback. They wait for the day they can finally say, "I told you so." But here's the problem with that mindset. You're still allowing those people to shape your direction. Don't build your future around someone else's opinion of you. Build it around your own purpose. Every minute you spend seeking revenge is a minute you're not investing in your own growth. Every ounce of energy spent arguing is energy that could have been used to learn, create, improve, or lead. Life has a way of asking a simple question every day. Where will you place your focus? On the people who doubted you or on the person you're becoming? The strongest individuals I've ever encountered don't carry resentment for long. Not because what happened didn't hurt, but because they understand something important. Bitterness is heavy. It consumes your thoughts, your emotions, and eventually your future. The person you refuse to forgive often occupies more space in your mind than they deserve. And while you're holding on to the past, life keeps moving forward. That doesn't mean you forget the lessons. It means you stop letting those lessons become chains. There is a difference between remembering what happened and living inside it. One gives you wisdom. The other steals your future. Some people will never apologize. Some people will never recognize the pain they caused. Some people will never admit they were wrong. If your peace depends on them changing, you'll remain trapped. Freedom begins the moment you stop waiting for someone else to become the person you wish they were. Instead, you become the person you've decided to be. The most powerful comeback has never been a speech. It's a life transformed. When someone says you can't do it, don't waste your breath trying to convince them. Go build the skills. When someone overlooks your potential, don't argue. Keep growing. When someone walks away from you, don't chase them. Continue becoming the kind of person who doesn't lose their direction because someone else chose a different path. There is something incredibly powerful about quiet progress. While others are busy talking, you're working. While others are criticizing, you're improving. While others are distracted by comparison, you're building a foundation that will last. Success earned through patience carries a confidence that attention can never provide. One day, people may notice the results. They may wonder how you changed so much. They may call you lucky, talented, or gifted. They probably won't see the countless decisions you made when no one was watching. They won't see the mornings you chose discipline over excuses, the evenings you chose learning over comfort, or the moments you refused to let pain define your identity. But that's okay. You didn't build your life for their approval. You built it because you refused to let your circumstances decide your future. Always remember this. Your life is sending a message every single day. The question is, what message are you sending? Is it one of resentment, regret, and endless reaction? Or is it one of purpose, resilience, and quiet confidence? You don't need to announce your growth. You don't need to explain your journey. Let your character speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your results speak. The greatest response to those who doubted you is becoming someone they never imagined you could be. As you continue this journey, you'll eventually realize that none of this was ever about proving people wrong. It was never about winning every argument, collecting praise, or becoming more impressive than everyone else. The real goal has always been much simpler and much deeper. Becoming someone you genuinely admire. Because when the noise fades, when the applause stops, and when you're alone with your thoughts, the one person you can never escape is yourself. Ask yourself this: if no one ever applauded your success, would you still choose to become better? If no one ever noticed your discipline, would you still keep your promises? If there were no audience, no recognition, and no reward, would you still live with integrity? Your answers to those questions reveal the kind of person you're becoming. Character is built in private long before it's recognized in public. It's built in the choices no one else sees. It's built when you tell the truth even when a lie would be easier. It's built when you honor your commitments even when nobody is checking. It's built when you stay kind in a world that often rewards cruelty and stay humble in moments when pride would be tempting. Those decisions may seem small, but over time they become your identity. Far too many people spend their lives trying to look successful instead of becoming successful. They chase appearances instead of substance. They want the image of confidence without doing the work that creates it. But confidence isn't something you wear. It's something you earn. It's the quiet certainty that comes from knowing you've faced difficult moments, kept moving forward, and refused to compromise the values that matter most. Don't compare your life to someone else's highlight reel. You don't know the battles they've fought or the sacrifices they've made. Comparison steals gratitude, and gratitude is one of the greatest sources of strength you'll ever have. Instead of asking why someone else is ahead, ask whether you're making progress from where you were yesterday. That's the only comparison that truly matters. Your purpose isn't to become better than another person. Your purpose is to become better than the version of yourself that was controlled by fear, doubt, insecurity, and the need for approval. Every day you choose courage over comfort, discipline over excuses, and purpose over distraction. You take another step toward becoming that person. And here's something beautiful about living this way. When you stop chasing people, the right relationships find you. When you stop begging for opportunities, you're prepared when opportunities arrive. When you stop trying to force everything to happen on your timeline, you create space for life to unfold in ways you never expected. That's because people are naturally drawn to authenticity. They trust those who are secure enough to be themselves. They respect those who don't compromise their values for temporary acceptance. The world doesn't need another person pretending to be someone they're not. It needs people who are willing to lead with honesty, serve with humility, and stand firm in their principles. That kind of influence doesn't come from titles or status. It comes from the example you set every single day. So from this moment forward, stop asking whether you're enough for someone else. Start asking whether you're becoming the person you were created to be. Stop chasing what was never meant to stay. Stop begging for what should be freely given. Stop wasting your life trying to fit into places that require you to become less than you are. Stand tall. Stay patient. Keep learning. Keep serving. Keep growing. Let your life reflect your values. Your actions reflect your purpose, and your character become your greatest achievement. When you focus on becoming your best self, everything truly meant for you will find its way to you.